the first string, the string that is closest to the player, is tuned to the Aadhaara Sajjam or the Sa. The string that is next to it, the second string, and the first string is called as the Sarani. The second string is known as a Panchama string, and it is tuned to the Mantra Sthayi Panchamam. So this is tuned to the Mantra Sthayi Panchamam. The third string is called the Mantra string, and it is tuned to the Mantra Sthayi Sajjam. The fourth string is the is also a mantra string. It's made of same copper. It's actually the silver strings which is wound with copper to produce the bass effect, and it is tuned to the Anumantra Sthayi Panchamam. So you have four strings, the main strings starting from Aadhaara Sajjam, Mantra Sthayi Panchamam, the Mantra Sthayi Sajjam, and the Anumantra Sthayi Panchamam. So ideally, how many octaves can be played on the Veena? From here, see, starting from the Sa, the Aadhaara Sajjam, to here, one can play one full octave. There are 12 notes. You can play a full octave, and starting from here till here, the second half of the first string, you can play the second octave, and there is one more octave that can be played in the second string and the third string. See, one half can be played here, the Sa, Ni, Da, Pa in the Mantra Sthayi, and the Ma, Ga, Ri, Sa in the Mantra Sthayi can be played in the third string. So you can play second and third string, you can play one more sthayi, and the fourth string can also play half a sthayi, which is just the Sa, Ni, Da, Pa. You can play the half an octave in the fourth string. So you can actually play 3.5 octaves in the Veena, whereas a human voice cannot reach these octaves. I will now come to the tuning part of the Veena. It is very, very important to tune the Veena because there are 7 strings, 4 main strings and 3 accessory strings. You know, each of these strings has to be tuned perfectly for the sound to be good or the song to be good. If it is not in a tuned way, then the song will not be good to hear. So I told you that the first string that is closest to the player is the Sarani, or it is tuned to the Aadhaara Sajjam. Sa. Whatever your base sajjam is, the Madhya Sthayi Sajjam. The octave in the center is called the Madhya Sthayi, the one that is lower Sthayi is called the Mantra Sthayi, and the one that is higher is called the Thara Sthayi. So when you are actually plucking a Veena without using your left fingers, you are actually producing the Aadhaara Sajjam. You have to tune, that is the basis for the Veena, and you have to tune the other strings according or as a proportion, or the other strings are tuned according to the first string. There are certain, see, the best way to tune a Veena would be to use the ear. The ear is the best tune and nothing can beat the ear. But picking up notes to, get acclimatized to Sa, Ri, Ga, Ma, Pa, Da, Ni, Sa, the notes will take a long time if you're not in a family of music. So there are lots of apps that have come up, lot of chromatic apps which can be used. And they, actually give, if you download these apps, you can actually get the dial form of, you can actually see a dial and you can pluck the Veena, take the phone or your mobile device or the device near the Veena, pluck the string and it will show you what pitch it is. So the general pitch that is used for playing a Veena, generally the pitch that is used is a D sharp or an E. D sharp is used because I would prefer a D sharp because you can actually pull. The Veena, has the ability to play both in the transverse as well as in the lateral. The y-axis and the x-axis can be used. You can pull not only along this, you can actually glide this way as well as pull the strings outwards to actually produce the next frets or the next neighboring frets, tones. So the best would be to use a D sharp pitch. Or you can also use an E pitch for the bass sajjam. I'll now tell you what are the, if the first string is tuned to D sharp, then the next string, I will just read it out to you. The Sarani or the first string, if it is tuned to D sharp, it will come as a D3 sharp in your mobile device, in the whatever app that you have downloaded. 3 refers to the octave number, nothing else, just refers to the octave. And the Panchama Kambi or the second string is then tuned to A sharp, A2 sharp. The 2 refers again to the octave. It's a lower octave, so it is given a lower number. And the third string, the Mantra Sthayi, is the mantra string is tuned to D2 sharp. D2 actually refers to the lower octave. The first one is in D3 sharp, the second string is in A2 sharp, and the mantra string or the third string will be in the D2 sharp. The fourth string, the Anumantra Sthai, is tuned to A1 sharp. So, in such a condition, the thala strings also I have to tell you, the three thala strings are tuned to lower sa. The one at the top is tuned to the lower sa, which is the same as the first string. The middle one is tuned to the higher pa, the mantra sthai, the madhya sthai pa, and the last string, the bottommost string is tuned to the tharasthai sajjam. So, if the first string is in D sharp, these three strings are tuned to D3 sharp, A3 sharp and D4 sharp. The sa, pa and sa are respectively tuned to D3 sharp, A3 sharp and D4 sharp. Now alternatively, if you want this to be tuned to E sharp, if you want to hear it in a higher pitch, slightly higher pitch, it may sound brighter, but the pulling becomes a little difficult, at least in the initial stages. If this is tuned, the first string is tuned to E, the second string is tuned to B, and the third string is again tuned to E. So the first string will be in E3, the Panchama Kambi will be in the B2, and the mantra string will be in E2, and the Anumantra string will be in B1, and the thala strings in that situation will be in E3, B3 and E4. E3, which is the same as the first string, B3 and then E4. The topmost, the middle one and the bottommost. So far as the tuning goes. Now, I told you in the beginning of when I described the Veena, that there are pegs, wooden pegs, that the other end of the strings are connected to. Actually, by tightening or by winding it in the anti-clockwise direction, you tighten the strings and you can increase the pitch. Or when you turn it in the anti-clockwise direction, you loosen the strings and thereby reduce the pitch. So, the major adjustments can be made to tune it to your D sharp or E. These are the major adjustments. And in the place of course, wooden pegs, now they are being replaced with machine, that is guitar keys, which becomes very, very easy to tune. So, one can pay an extra 1,500, 1,800 rupees and you can get a set of guitar keys also done. There is no problem. And see, there could also be a situation when a small minor adjustment is needed, not a major one to touch this and then upset the whole thing when you are playing something. So, there are some small beads, here, the right hand extreme, beyond this bridge. Those are used for minor adjustments, and by moving them to the right side or down, you actually increase the pitch. And by moving them to the left or towards you, you actually decrease the pitch. Very, very minor adjustments. Those are there for all the 7 strings.